Can Sting save WCW from the NWO and take the World Heavyweight Championship from Hollywood Hogan? Find out in this episode of Universe Mode 1997. Monday Nitro kicked off with a cruiserweight match between Rey Mysterio Jr. and the cruiserweight champion Eddie Guerrero. Both wrestlers were famous luchadors and played significant roles in keeping viewers tuned in during the Monday Night Wars. The match goes back and forth with both wrestlers trading blows and near falls. The crowd is on the edge of their seats cheering for both Mysterio and Guerrero. Neither of them is backing down. For Mysterio, a win over the Cruiserweight Champion would imply that he is next in line for an opportunity at the Cruiserweight Championship. Currently, the first-ranked contender is none other than Psychosis. If Mysterio wins, he will earn a shot at the winner between Guerrero and Psychosis for the title. Unfortunately for Rey, Eddie won the match with a frog splash. After the match was over, the two men shook hands as a symbol of respect. The second match of the night was for the Tag Team Championships, with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash challenging Harlem Heat for their titles. The bell rang, and the two teams immediately went to war. Booker T and Stevie Ray were quick and agile, while Nash and Hall were big and powerful. The two teams matched each other blow for blow, and the crowd was on their feet. Booker T and Stevie Ray used their teamwork to their advantage, often double-teaming Nash and Hall. Nash and Hall, however, were able to use their size and strength to overpower Booker T and Stevie Ray. Hall executed a chokeslam on Stevie Ray in the center of the ring. Meanwhile, on the outside of the ring, Buff Bagwell went after Booker T to assist Nash and Hall in winning the championship belts. After a jackknife powerbomb from Kevin Nash, we had new WCW Tag Team Champions. In the third match of the night, we witnessed Diamond Dallas Page taking on the Giant Paul White. Diamond Dallas Page was struggling to bring down the Giant as Paul resisted every offensive move from Page. It appeared that the Giant was going to win this one, as he seemed to be too much for Diamond Dallas Page to handle. However, in a sudden turn of events, DDP was able to hit the Giant with his signature move, the Diamond Cutter, winning the biggest match of his career. It was the main event of Monday Nitro, where the Nature Boy Ric Flair was scheduled to face off against the World Heavyweight Champion Hollywood Hogan in a singles match. These are two men who don't need introductions. Both are icons in the wrestling business. However, Hogan has taken over the company that, quite frankly, was built by Ric Flair. So it's only natural that the Nature Boy and Hollywood Hogan were going to clash over this matter. Flair had Hogan in the match, delivering chops to the chest, but Hogan managed to counter Flair and shift the momentum in his favor. Now, Hogan was the one controlling the match, and Flair was finding it challenging to withstand the power of Hollywood Hogan. Now Hogan was feeling himself, even trash-talking both Flair and the fans. Back inside the squared circle, Hogan was setting up for the leg drop, but Flair wasn't going down without a fight. Flair countered Hogan's move, and out of nowhere, he locked in the figure four leg lock on Hogan, sending the crowd into a frenzy. Hogan had nowhere to run, and there was no rope break in sight. However, Six intervened, breaking the figure four and striking Flair. The crowd erupted in boos as Hogan seized Flair and nailed him with the leg drop. Now Scott Hall was also out here, joining in the assault on Flair. The three men were viciously assaulting the Nature Boy. But oh my God, Sting was here! Sting made his way to the ring and struck Six with a bat on the outside. Sting swung the bat and hit Scott Hall right in the gut, possibly breaking a couple of ribs with that powerful strike. This is it, boys. It's WCW versus the NWO, and Sting has issued the challenge. Week 2 kicked off with a match for the Cruiserweight title, pitting the challenger Psychosis against the champion Eddie Guerrero. And if you're thinking of changing the channel to watch the competition, do not bother, as those videos are 3 weeks old. At one point, Psychosis was down and Eddie was preparing for a frog splash, but Psychosis managed to move out of harm's way. Seizing the opportunity, Psychosis climbed the top rope and hit Eddie with a diving leg drop, securing the 3 count and winning the Cruiserweight title in front of a capacity crowd. In the second match of the night, Bill Goldberg was scheduled for a singles match with a winning streak of 129 wins and 0 losses. His opponent was Buff Bagwell. Bill hit Bagwell with a spear, and it nearly took off Bagwell's shoes, likely leaving him with a couple of broken ribs, and then followed up with the jackhammer, maintaining his streak and adding another victory, bringing the count to 130 wins. In the third match of the night, the new WCW Tag Team Champions Kevin Nash and Scott Hall faced off against the Steiner brothers. Hall and Nash dominated the entire match with little to no offense from the Steiner brothers. It was almost a total squash from the Tag Team Champions against Rick and Scott. We were in the final moments of the match, with Kevin Nash delivering more punishment to Rick Steiner. Finally, he set the table for Scott Hall. Scott and Kevin secured the victory after Hall executed the Razor's Edge on Rick, sealing the win. After the match was over, Harlem Heat came rushing down to the ring and began delivering a beatdown to the tag team champions. Remember, Hall and Nash cheated to win their match last week, and the former tag champs were furious about losing their tag team titles. A rematch was set to take place at Starrcade. In the fourth match of the night, it was Diamond Dallas Page against Steven Regal in a singles match. Diamond won the match after hitting Regal with the cutter. As DDP was celebrating, the music of the Giant echoed throughout the arena. Diamond was looking for him, but the Giant came from behind and attacked DDP. Then he grabbed Dallas Page and executed a resounding chokeslam, leaving Diamond Dallas Page unconscious in the middle of the ring. In the main event, the NWO entered the ring to address Sting and the upcoming match for the heavyweight title at Starrcade. Hogan, Nash, and Hall took the mic as the crowd's reaction was a mix of both cheers and boos for the NWO. Hogan declared that they were not afraid of Sting and that the NWO was running the wrestling world, brother. Then Hogan took a spray can and drew the NWO letters to close out Week 2. Week 3 kicked off with a singles match between Lionheart Chris Jericho and the WCW TV champion Ultimo Dragon. The crowd was electric as the two wrestlers entered the ring. Dragon was a fan favorite, known for his high-flying acrobatics and technical brilliance. Jericho, on the other hand, was a cocky heel who was determined to prove himself as the best wrestler in the world. Ultimo Dragon countered a move from Jericho and shifted the momentum of the match in his favor, executing all sorts of acrobatic moves and running circles around Lionheart. After hitting a power bomb on Jericho, Ultimo Dragon went for a moonsault, but Jericho got out of the way. Jericho then hit a bulldog on Ultimo Dragon and ultimately sent him outside the ring with a dropkick. Jericho attempted a high-flying move on Dragon, but this time it was Ultimo Dragon who evaded the attack. He executed a springboard moonsault that connected. Dragon then attempted a Dragon Rana from the top rope, but Jericho countered the move and followed up with a spinning wheel kick on Dragon. Jericho then executed a series of power bombs on Dragon. Having Ultimo Dragon right where he wanted him, Jericho applied the Walls of Jericho's submission hold. Dragon had nowhere to go, so he had no choice but to submit to the Walls of Jericho. With this victory, Jericho earned a title shot for the WCW TV Championship, but this wasn't enough for Jericho. After the match was over, he launched a series of attacks on a defenseless Ultimo Dragon, relentlessly kicking him over and over again. In the second match of the night, we witnessed Harlem Heat facing off against Buff Bagwell and Syxx. Harlem Heat emerged victorious in the match after Booker T hit Bagwell with his signature maneuver. As Booker and his brother Stevie celebrated in the ring, the Outsiders sought revenge for the attack from last week, striking the former champions with the tag team titles. In the third match of the night, we saw the Rabid Wolverine competing against the WCW United States champion, Curt Hennig. The former emerged victorious in the match after executing his signature move, earning an opportunity to challenge for the WCW United States Championship at Starrcade. In the fourth match of the night, we witnessed Goldberg coming into the match with a winning streak of 162 matches, facing off against Billy Kidman in a singles match. Goldberg secured the victory by hitting Kidman with the jackhammer, extending his winning streak to 163 matches. In the fifth match of the night, we witnessed a cruiserweight bout between La Parka and Rey Mysterio Jr. This match began at a high pace, with both superstars delivering an incredible show for the fans in attendance. Rey Mysterio Jr. and La Parka pulled out all the stops, trying to outdo each other. Trust me when I say we were not lacking in flashy moves during this match. La Parka was firmly in control of the match, hitting Mysterio with a variety of moves and combinations. La Parka attempted to hit a standing moonsault on Mysterio, but Mysterio managed to move out of the way. Now Mysterio was looking to take the action to the outside, setting up for a Hurricane Rana on La Parka. Now Mysterio was attempting a move from the top rope, but this time it was La Parka who moved out of harm's way. La Parka capitalized by hitting Mysterio with a DDT, leaving Mysterio down and vulnerable. La Parka then executed his signature move to secure the victory, bringing him one step closer to the Cruiserweight title. Mysterio will need to find a way to regain momentum and rejoin the conversation for the title. And now it was time for the main event, with Macho Man Randy Savage set to face Lex Luger. After a hard-fought battle, Luger was on the verge of grabbing Macho Man with his signature maneuver. However, the NWO suddenly appeared and began attacking Luger. Then, Hogan grabbed Luger and executed his leg drop on him, brother. Both Hogan and Bischoff were in the ring when all of a sudden, Sting appeared in the ring. Hogan knew exactly who was behind him, and Sting wasted no time, hitting Hogan with a scorpion death drop. Now, With a bat in hand, Sting chased after a fleeing Bischoff, catching up to him and striking him in the head with the bat. Starrcade kicked off with a singles match for the WCW TV Championship as Ultimo Dragon defended his title against Lionheart Chris Jericho. Ultimo Dragon had Jericho trapped in his submission hold in the middle of the ring, but somehow, someway, Jericho managed to escape. Jericho was now looking to apply the walls of Jericho, but Ultimo Dragon was not making it easy for Jericho. It felt like deja vu as Jericho locked Ultimo Dragon in the walls of Jericho, forcing the champion to submit once again. With this victory, Jericho became the new WCW TV champion. In the second match of the night, we witnessed Rey Mysterio Jr. facing off against Dean Malenko. Both of these superstars were aiming to re-enter the title picture. Mysterio managed to defeat Malenko after executing his signature move, securing the victory in the match. In the third match of the night, we saw Curt Hennig defending his WCW United States Championship against the Rabid Wolverine. The latter was able to defeat Curt Hennig after applying his signature maneuver, the crossface, to make Hennig submit. This victory meant that the Rabid Wolverine had won the WCW United States Championship. In the fourth match of the night, it was the Giant against Diamond Dallas Page. In a singles match, DDP emerged victorious by hitting Paul White with a diamond cutter from the middle rope. In the fifth match, we witnessed the former tag team champions Harlem Heat in a rematch for the belts against the Outsiders. Unfortunately for the brothers, the Outsiders claimed the win in the match with a decisive razor's edge from Scott Hall, targeting Stevie Ray. This victory solidified their status as the reigning tag team champions at Starrcade, showcasing their dominance in the tag team division. In the sixth match of the night, we witnessed Psychosis defending his cruiserweight title in a triple threat match against the former champion Eddie Guerrero and La Parka. As La Parka performed his signature move on Psychosis, Eddie Guerrero suddenly entered the scene with a frog splash on La Parka's back. Guerrero then capitalized by going for the pin on Psychosis, successfully regaining the cruiserweight title once again. It was time for the main event, where Hollywood Hogan was set to defend his World Heavyweight title against Sting. Sting started with the upper hand, giving the champ a run for his money. However, Hogan was not about to go down that easily. He regained control of the match, and now it was Sting feeling the wrath of Hogan's offense. However, Sting was able to counter a move from Hogan, and now he was gaining momentum in the match. Sting followed up by hitting Hogan with a Sting splash in the corner. Now Sting was seeking to apply the Scorpion Deathlock. Hogan found himself in the middle of the ring with nowhere to go. Sting locked in the hold, and Hogan was on the verge of submitting. Sting did it! We have a new World Heavyweight Champion! Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. Let me know which year you'd like to see next, and I recommend checking out this Universe Mode right here.